Hey guys, Long Haul Larry, Big Blue. It is September 20th, 2019. Bad dad joke for today is, why did the pig get hired by the restaurant? He was really good at bacon. Oh boy. Well, I got empty this morning. I ran on down. I had a couple of issues. I ran on down. I was supposed to have a 6 a.m. appointment. And I ran down and pulled in there at 5:45. And checked in, and I went in there, and they gave me a door, and then they signed my bills and handed them right back to me, and I kind of went, what? And I started walking away, and I looked at the guy, I turned around, and I says, do you think this is a drop? And he was like, yeah, your drop. And I'm like, no, not a drop. So this is a live unload. I said, it should be at 6 a.m. And he was like, oh. And so he grabbed the paperwork back, and then I looked at him and I said, do I have a 6 a.m. appointment? And he's like, no, you got a 12. And so I just kind of went, yeah, that's not right. And I called the broker. I let the broker know about it. I let the broker know what's going on, and I just decided to go to sleep. I didn't pick up till 3 p.m. over here. Maricold is where I'm leaving right now. Oop, too soon. Maricold over here on Samuels Avenue. I used to come here when I first started working for ADL. I actually liked this in Maricold because you could actually come in here the night before and park here and stuff. It's got nice. But came in here, and I was a couple hours early, and I checked in there, and they loaded me up. About 40 minutes I'm loaded. I only got 22,000 pounds. It is cooked meat. I have no idea what that means, but it is a frozen load. And this load is going off to Maryland. I can't remember exactly where, MBM or whatever, MDM. But I'm not going to be delivering it. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking this to the yard, dropping this at the yard, and then picking up an empty trailer and heading down to Mount Crawford on Sunday or whatever to pick up a load. So I'm doing a drop and hook thing at the yard. But Big Blue's got kind of an issue going on. I came into Texas last night, and I've said this before, that the roads are just terribly, terribly rough. You know what? It's too late. I was actually going to turn there. And it was some rough roads coming in there. There's a couple of spots where I almost got launched. And I came in there, and I lost my oil pressure on Big Blue. Big Blue lost the oil pressure, and that's not good. A big engine like this, and you just lose all your oil pressure, and it's not good. So I pulled over and shut it down right away, and I checked the oil, and I looked all over for any kind of leaks. Everything was good. Didn't see nothing out of the ordinary. I fired the truck back up, and all my needles cycle. All the needles on all the gauges, they'll go all the way up to the top, then they'll go back all the way down to the bottom when I turn the key on, and then they will go to a preset spot or whatever. The air pressure will go to wherever the air pressure is. The oil pressure gauge didn't even move. So that kind of had me thinking that it was either an oil pressure gauge or an oil sensor. And I sat there and I ran the truck for a little while, and I just sat there listening, very careful, as listening for any kind of a noise or anything, to shut it down really fast. And nothing seemed to be a problem. It seemed to be running just fine. And so I felt comfortable enough to keep running it. But it's not my truck, it's the boss's truck. So I called him in the middle of the night and I explained everything to him. And he can look up online and look at the code that the truck is sending. And he looked it up and he says, yeah, it says oil pressure irregular or whatever. And he says, it looks like the fix for this is to replace the oil pressure sensor. And I said, yeah, I think that is what it is. I said, I think it's an oil pressure sensor or gauge. And so we decided to go with it and come down here, make all my appointments, and then stop and grab a new oil pressure sensor and install it and see if that fixes it. So I've gotten empty, and now I am going to be stopping off at a Kenworth Cummins dealer. And when I was coming down here to get loaded, I saw there's one right up here. Not sure how to get in there, but I saw it's up on this side of the highway, so I'm thinking this is going to be a frontage road. I think we'll be able to get in there. So I'm going to pick me up a new oil pressure sensor, and I don't know if I want to replace it right now. It is 101 degrees here. Not really sure if I want to do it right now. I actually have oil pressure right now. This morning I got up and I turned the truck on when I got there last night and shut it down. And this morning I got in there and I fired the truck up, pulled it into place. And when I did that, I got oil pressure. My gauge worked. Then when I was getting all unloaded and everything, they came out there and told me I was unloaded. You gonna be stopping your car? They came out there and told me. Then I fired the truck up and I didn't have any oil pressure. And then I came back down here and I shut it down and I fired it back up, and now I got oil pressure again. So the only problem with it is the boss said that if it's like this for 10 hours, if I don't have oil pressure, that I will lose, the truck will derate. Where is it? Here it is. This is what I saw. The truck will derate. It will lose all its power. So I have to get this fixed. But now that I have oil pressure, this thing will continue to keep running. Okay, can't go in there. I don't know if I have to go down a side street to get in here. I have no idea. Have a clue. I don't know where I'm supposed to go in here. I'm gonna go in this one. go in here and see if I can get it apart. I'll be back. Well, there we go, guys. We got our oil pressure sensor. It was $52. I am not going to mess with it at this moment because I'm showing outside temperature 101. I don't feel like sitting up there sweating my Jesus off trying to change out a sensor on a hot motor. I have oil pressure right at this moment, so the truck's not going to derate. So I'm just going to keep it running. The boss actually wants me to get an oil change done on the truck. And he was saying something about stopping in West Memphis or something like that. Some pilot there, I guess he said it's not bad or something. He said he's had it done there and it's done, been all right for oil changes and time and stuff. So, I'll tell you the truth, I may not even do it myself. I may just give them the sensor and have them put the new one on. The thing is that it takes a bigger socket. I did this on Eric's truck. I changed his sensor out one time down in Indiana. Just went out and I went down there and bought him a new sensor and changed it and stuff. It's like an 1.125" socket to do this. And I don't have that big of a socket. The biggest socket that I have is a 7/8. So I can either stop and get a new socket so I can do this. I do have an adjustable wrench. Maybe that would work. I don't know. We'll see how it works out. Or otherwise I can just, when I have the oil change done, just give them the sensor and say, unscrew that one, screw this one in. And away we go. Well, hey guys, we are getting ready to roll here. Well, we're actually rolling. I got myself about 750 miles to the ADL yard, so we got to be making some tracks today. I ended up coming into Memphis, and I was going to get a oil change, and I need a special socket. I hate this corner. You can't see when cars are coming, so they're right there on top of you. And I need a special socket or whatever to change this oil pressure sensor. It's still working. I do have oil pressure, so, and my engine light is gone, so I feel fine with it. But I think it needs to be changed. But I was gonna get an oil change last night in Memphis, and the boss wanted me to stop in at the Pilot and get a oil change, blah blah blah. He said it seems in the experience they're pretty fast and stuff. I stopped in there and they were closed, and there was a Love's there that had a Goodyear place. I went over there, they were closed. There was like 3 different shops right there in all that little area. I went to each one and every one of them was dark. They're all closed. So I guess they're not at 24-hour places. So there was no way I would find even a parking space to even stay there. But then the problem is that I would not be within range to get to the ADL yard if I stayed there too. That's too many miles to make in one trip. So I kept on rolling. I'm gonna see if I can find a place today to get me an oil change. If I can't, then I'm thinking, because I'm going to be heading to Oconomowoc next, and when I run this up there, what I usually do is I'll take off from White Way Foods, and I can usually make it to that Flying J just south of Gary in Indiana, and they have a shop there. And then I'll usually get up in the afternoon and take off. I'll just get up a little bit early and get an oil change there or something. We'll see. I'll work it out. So, we are rolling. 760 miles to go. Hey guys, we have made it up here to Frederick, Maryland, to the yard. But I guess ADL is homeless. I'm not really sure where the yard is. John tried to give me directions, but John kind of makes things confusing once in a while when he tries to explain something. But he said basically go up here to... He said basically it's this building right here. And he said to go to the first road, turn right, go back here someplace, do something else. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm thinking that we're behind here. I guess I don't really know what all happened, but I guess that we are not at the Bowman Yard anymore. There's always been little issues or something going on. With that place and everything else. And from what I understand, the boss, he just had 2 Bowman truck drivers apply to work at ADL. Now I think it's this one. I think this is where we're at. John said behind the first building on the right, turn down some road. I'm thinking this has got to be it. But I mean, I don't see any of our trucks unless they're down here. There's ADL trucks. Yep, right here we are. So I guess this is the new ADL yard. Too late. Sure. Nope, we're good. So there we go. We're gonna drop off this trailer. Hopefully there's an empty trailer here. I gotta search through here, see what I can find. And then I'm gonna be heading back down to Mount Crawford and get ready for the morning. Well, hey guys, we are loaded up here. Got ourselves 41,241 pounds, and it looks to be silk. What is that? Like almond milk or something like that? Got a whole load of it. We are heading off to Roundy's in Oconomowoc. And I'm showing myself with 843 miles. So I am going to knock out a chunk of this. Basically, I'm going to try to get to Gary, Indiana. It's not quite Gary. There's a Flying J I usually can make it to. And make it to there, and then I can shut it on down, and I'm gonna see if I can get my oil changed tomorrow. So here we go, 81 south, and away we go. So I think I'll let you guys go. Hope that everyone is having themselves a great day. They're watching this here video, and if you're not, certainly can try that all over again tomorrow. I will catch you guys later. See ya.